You can totally tell I just woke up, but that's okay. I want to go get my Starbucks, so I'm in the car. We're doing an OG, okay? We're doing an old school where I started in the Elliott Scott headquarters. What's going on, everybody? It's favorite dating coach Elliott Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk and discuss and go over the ignoring process. Basically what happens to a guy when you ignore him, what doesn't happen, and kind of why this happens. Okay, now if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I will love you forever, along with the bell notification. And if you want to work with yours truly, link is down in the descriptions. Okay, ladies, I don't know if you know, I have an email session now. An email session that's a third of the price of a phone session, and you're going to get an answer extremely fast, at least faster than a phone session. Okay, so if you want to check that out, it's all down below. So a lot of women will want to know about the ignoring process. So what the hell happens when I ignore him because he's not doing anything I want him to do? He's not putting forth the effort. He's taking me for granted and things like that. Well, that depends on a lot of things, and I can go into extreme depth with this video. But the first thing I want to say is, or I guess we would go over, will be what would make him care if I ignore him and what would make him not care. So it's always going to come down to assets versus liabilities. And what I mean by that is there's sometimes where a guy, or a girl ignores a guy and the guy doesn't give a shit. And the girl's wondering, well, why doesn't he give a shit? And I think there's two main reasons he doesn't care. One, he already got a lot of the assets and they just don't have the same value that they used to. Now that means if you slept with him already and you already gave him the goods and you were talking to him for 3 months already, that doesn't mean ignoring him will not work. That's not what that means. It's the value, or the assets that you were giving him, which could be those things, is if to him they don't matter anymore. Okay, that just depends on the guy. And the second thing I think, and I think this is the more important one, which is it comes down to liabilities, meaning, there goes my ADHD. Meaning, okay, is it worth re-engaging with this girl? Is it worth reaching out? Is it worth, investing in? Because I feel like am I going to open a can of worms, okay, doing this? Like, there's a reason she's ignoring me. I probably did something, so we're kind of going our separate ways. Is it just worth it? He's going to look at it versus assets versus liabilities. Are these assets I'm getting worth the liability of me re-engaging and me doing this and me doing that? And, even though she knows I don't want a relationship, I was trying to hint at that, which is probably why she's doing what she's doing and all that kind of, it becomes games. And if there's another girl in the picture too, then the guy's just going to go about his merry way. Okay. Now, the other thing on where it would matter, I think, if you ignore him, would be if you guys overall have a good thing going, you're not showing a lot of red flags, not red flags as in you're doing something wrong. Don't ever search for his approval in this situation. I just mean, like, what you guys have is a good thing. He's just not committing, but he does like you, but you're tired of it. You're done putting up with the bullshit, so you start ignoring the guy, or the guy takes you for granted, and then he kind of freaks out because although a guy does like you, a man also like access to you, and if you're cutting off that access, then he's like, oh shit, what's going on? Why is she doing this? And or if it could be a pride and ego thing, if you guys are messing around, your friends and benefits, or you're this or you're that, and you're the one who cuts it off, a guy for the most part is going to want to know why that is. Why is she cutting it off? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? Why is she playing games? I need answers. Okay. And I always talk about this in my, at least in my older videos. I talk about your blueprint versus reality. Your blueprint is what you have in mind on how you want something to work. And usually it's the path of least resistance. Okay. So, let me finish. And then reality is what's actually happening. So a great example of this would be me going on a date with you and it going really well and getting another date and things like that. That's blueprint. Okay. Hey, I just want to go on this date, make her laugh, have a good time, get the kiss, and have her really like me and rinse and repeat, right? But reality would be, okay, I'm going on this date. Fuck, I'm nervous. It's not going really well. This is awkward silence. I don't know what to talk about, the conversation, right? And the anxiety starts to build up. And the anxiety always will build up if the blueprint is not matching reality. The further it is, the more anxiety that comes out of it, right? So that's one of the things. If you're ignoring a guy who's still interested, and the assets still have value, then he's going to be like, well, what the hell? Okay, and it's going to build up and he's going to want to know an answer. So basically, what I'm trying to say is when it comes down to ignoring a guy, it comes down to the assets versus liabilities, and is it still worth pursuing? Is there still value in and of course, if the guy likes you, but I know a lot of times where a guy can like you and still not re-pursue, right, or reconnect when a girl ignores him because he's feeling it's just not worth it. Like hey, even if you're not ignoring someone, let's say something happens between you and a guy, and the guy doesn't re-engage, and the girl's wondering why. It can totally be because I'm interested in her. Hey guys, listen, I like her. She's a great girl. She's fun. She's awesome. She's cool. But I could tell we want different things, and I'm just not going to go down that path. I just don't want to lead her on. I feel like I could tell that she wants a little more than I'm ready for, and that's just, I mean, it's just there's gonna be later on. There's gonna be a fork in the road, basically. Okay, so that is why a guy might not re-engage if you ignore him. But it does come down to assets versus liabilities, the value of those assets and things like that. Okay, ladies? So, and if someone else is in the picture or not that he can get these assets from, yada, yada, yada. So, that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care and peace.